professional con artist falls for a beautiful woman who wants to learn his tricks. But in their world, love is just another dangerous game. The story begins in a luxurious restaurant, where an experienced professional con artist named Nikki enjoys dinner alone. A beautiful young woman named Jess enters the restaurant, dressed elegantly and moving with calculated grace. She notices Nikki sitting by himself and decides to approach him. Pretending to be confident but charmingly nervous, Jess engages Nikki in casual conversation. The chemistry between them builds quickly. He's calm, witty, and observant, while she's flirtatious and bold. Soon, Jess starts playing her role. She pretends to be interested in Nikki romantically and invites him to her hotel room. Nikki agrees, seemingly unaware of what's really going on. When they reach the room, Jess begins seducing him, drawing him closer. Just as things get heated, the door bursts open. A man holding a gun storms in, shouting that Jess is his wife and accusing her of cheating. The tension rises instantly. The man points the gun directly at Nikki's chest. Instead of panicking, Nikki stays perfectly calm. He looks at both of them and, with a slight smile, says, "Go ahead, pull the trigger." The man hesitates. That's when Nikki reveals that he knows exactly what's happening. He tells them both that this is a common scam, a fake husband and wife trick, where the woman seduces a target and the husband bursts in to blackmail the victim for money. Nikki had seen through it long before the man entered. He tells Jess that he noticed the scam the moment she walked up to his table. Her timing, her fake nervousness, and the way she kept looking around the room gave her away. He even teases her, saying, "You're smart, but your eyes talk too much." Then with a smirk, he adds, "And by the way, I love your chest." Jess can't help but smile awkwardly. She's been caught, embarrassed but impressed by Nikki's sharpness. Jess watches as he calmly leaves the room, having exposed their entire trick. A few days later, Jess finds Nikki again, this time on the street. She runs after him, asking for a chance to talk. She invites him for a coffee, curious about who he really is and how he could see through her scams so easily. During their conversation, Nikki opens up a bit about his past. He tells her that con artistry runs in his blood. His father was a con man, and so was his grandfather. It's a family trade. He explains that his grandfather was once caught during a scam, and the gang that discovered him threatened to kill both him and his partner. That's when his grandfather used what con artists call the Toledo panic button. It's a brutal move. When you're cornered, you shoot your own partner to prove you're not in on the scam together. In that incident, Nikki's father shot his own father to save himself. Jess listens in shock and fascination as Nikki says, "In this game, trust is a luxury. You survive by thinking faster than everyone else." Soon after, Jess follows Nikki to New Orleans, where he's preparing for a massive job. She wants to join his team, but Nikki isn't sure if she's ready. He tells her that the people he works with are professionals. Each one plays a specific role in complex scams involving distraction, precision, and teamwork. She insists that she can handle it. Nikki eventually decides to give her a chance. He introduces her to his crew, a diverse group of skilled thieves and scammers. Among them is Farhad, a charming yet eccentric member who becomes Jess's first real friend in the team. Nikki also introduces Horace, the man responsible for coordination and logistics. Together, they operate like a well-rehearsed machine. Their scams involve pickpocketing, car manipulation, fake ATMs, and digital fraud. Before joining a big con, Nikki wants to test Jess's ability to handle pressure. He sends her to a crowded street market during a busy day. Her task is simple: distract tourists while another team member steals from them. Jess uses a map as her prop, pretending to be a lost tourist asking for directions. While people look at the map, her partner slips cameras and wallets from their bags. Jess performs her role flawlessly. Seeing her natural skill, Nikki decides to let her try stealing on her own. Now it's time for her first solo test. Jess walks through the market, pretending to browse shops. She bumps into people gently, smiling innocently as she quietly lifts watches, phones, and even credit cards. Each move is smooth, controlled, and graceful. She's learning fast. From a nearby rooftop, Nikki watches through binoculars, smiling with pride. He sees potential in her, the kind of focus and finesse that can't be taught. After successfully proving herself, Jess becomes part of Nikki's main team. Together, they start executing high-level scams. Using hidden cameras and high-tech contact lenses, they can see the cards of gamblers during poker games. They also steal credit card data using tiny scanning devices, duplicating the cards and returning them to the victims without anyone noticing. Nikki's team even installs fake ATMs that secretly record PINs and banking information. The operation is large-scale and perfectly organized. Every stolen card is categorized. The stolen goods are resold, and the data is sold on the black market. Jess is amazed by how big and professional the system is. For her, this is a new world, one of luxury, danger, and adrenaline. However, Nikki keeps strict rules. Never get personal, never get attached, and never keep anything you steal. When Jess tries on an expensive necklace, Nikki firmly tells her to take it off. "We sell everything. That's how we stay clean," he says. Over time, Jess starts to fall for Nikki. Beneath his calm and calculated demeanor, there's a charm she can't resist. During a night out, they end up in his hotel room, and their connection becomes physical, passionate, but complicated. From that moment, Jess isn't sure if what she feels is real or just part con. The next day, the crew carries out another large operation. Jess and Farhad stage a fake emergency. Farhad pretends to faint on the street while Jess screams for help. As the crowd gathers, the rest of the team moves in to steal watches, jewelry, and wallets from the distracted onlookers. When the job is done, they all escape in an ambulance disguised as paramedics. It's a flawless heist. That night, the team celebrates. Music, champagne, and laughter fill the air. Nikki praises everyone for their success. In just 1 week, they've made over $1 million. But amid the celebration, Jess can't help but feel that something about Nikki is unreachable. He's happy, but always distant, always calculating. Their relationship grows more intense, but Jess starts wondering if she's just another part of his plan. Nikki decides to show Jess one last big score, something to truly impress her and test her emotions. He takes her to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where a professional American football game is taking place. They sit in the VIP section, surrounded by wealthy people. The crowd is loud and excited, but Nikki isn't watching the game. His eyes scan the people, looking for opportunities, always reading the room. Jess, sitting beside him, seems bored. That's when Nikki decides to make things interesting. He starts betting with her. He starts with small bets, guessing which player will make the next touchdown, or whether the next play will be a pass or a run. At first, Jess laughs. She thinks it's harmless fun. But as the bets get bigger, her laughter fades. Nikki starts wagering thousands of dollars, and every time, he wins. Jess begins to relax again, impressed by his luck and control. But luck doesn't last forever. After a few rounds, his luck turns. He loses once, then twice, then again. His bets get riskier and larger. Jess's face tightens with worry as she watches him slide deeper into obsession. Within minutes, Nikki has lost all of the team's earnings, over $1 million. Jess can't believe what she's seeing. She tries to stop him, pleading, "Nikki, please, you're done. You've lost enough." But he ignores her, completely absorbed. Lewan invites Nikki to bet against him. Just one round, double or nothing. Jess begs him not to do it, but Nikki's pride won't let him back down. He agrees. He tells Nikki, "Pick any player on the field and guess the number on his jersey. If you guess right, you win it all. If not, you owe me everything." Jess stares at Nikki, terrified. He's already lost everything they worked for. If he loses again, he's finished. But Nikki just leans back in his chair, takes a deep breath, and stares at the field with quiet intensity. The stadium noise fades in his mind. He scans the players one by one. Jess whispers desperately, "Don't do it, please." After a long pause, Nikki says, "Number 55. Lewan bursts into laughter, both shocked and impressed. "You crazy bastard," he says. "You got it right." Nikki wins it all back. Millions of dollars in one impossible guess. As they leave the stadium, Jess is still shaking. She can't understand what just happened. Nikki calmly explains the secret. it wasn't luck. The entire day, Lewan had been subconsciously manipulated. From the moment he arrived in New Orleans, Nikki's team had been planting the number 55 everywhere. Billboards, hotel room numbers, taxi signs. Even the musicians outside the stadium were wearing jerseys with that number. Without realizing it, Lewan's brain had been conditioned to focus on 55. Nikki looks at Jess and says, "You can't convince a man with logic, but you can guide his focus." She finally understands the level of planning, detail, and psychology behind his craft. It's not about chance, it's about control. Several years later, Nikki arrives in Buenos Aires, Argentina, for a new job, this time working with a wealthy racing team owner named Garriga. The plan is complex. Nikki's task is to infiltrate Garriga's circle, gain his trust, and sell sensitive data from his company to rival teams. It's high stakes and high reward, a game of deception at an elite level. During a formal event at Garriga's mansion, Nikki, dressed sharply in a tailored suit, scans the room as always, analyzing details, reading faces, memorizing patterns. Suddenly, his composure breaks for the first time in years. Across the room, he sees Jess. She's stunning, radiant, and completely unexpected. Their eyes meet. Time freezes for a moment. Jess is now Garriga's girlfriend. Nikki is stunned but hides it behind a polite smile. The shock hits him like a wave, but he quickly regains control. He approaches her, pretending nothing is wrong. Their conversation is tense, but full of emotion beneath the surface. She acts distant, sophisticated, and slightly cold, a woman transformed. But Nikki can tell she's nervous. She still feels something too. In the following days, Nikki pretends to be fully devoted to Garriga's operation, while secretly planning to betray him. Garriga owns a confidential telemetry system that contains valuable racing data, information worth millions to competitors. Nikki's plan is to sell fake data to one buyer and the real data to another, doubling his profit. It's a dangerous move that could cost him his life if discovered. Jess discovers his plan and warns him that Garriga is violent and suspicious. She tells him to walk away before it's too late. But Nikki refuses. The thrill of the game is too strong. Deep down, he's also driven by something else. He wants to prove to Jess that he's still in control, that he hasn't lost his touch. Over the next few days, Nikki and Jess start working together again. Secretly, the old spark between them reignites. The teasing, the tension, the dangerous attraction. Together, they manage to steal Garriga's confidential file and plan their escape after selling it to a rival team. Everything seems to be going perfectly. When Garriga discovers a leak inside his system, he traces the breach back to Nikki. Furious, he sends his men after him. Nikki receives an anonymous message warning him that his cover is blown. But before he can escape, Jess shows up at his door. "We can still get out," she says, clutching her bag. "We can start over." Nikki hesitates, torn between survival and love. Finally, he agrees. As they race to leave the city, a black car speeds toward them and crashes into theirs. Everything goes black. When Nikki wakes up, he's tied to a chair inside a dimly lit warehouse, one of Garriga's safe houses. His face is bruised, blood on his lip. Across from him sits Garriga, calm and terrifyingly controlled. Owen stands beside him, gun in hand. Jess is brought in too, terrified but trying to stay composed. Garriga demands answers. Who else has a formula? Who did you sell it to? Nikki insists he doesn't know what he's talking about, but Owens already has proof, security footage, bank transfers, everything. Garriga grows angrier, accusing Jess of being in on it. Nikki tries to defend her. Owens doesn't hesitate. The gun fires. A deafening silence follows. Nikki looks down. He's the one who's been shot. The bullet hits near his chest, blood soaking his shirt. Jess screams and rushes to him. Garriga and Owens prepare to leave, thinking Nikki will die in minutes. Before walking out, Garriga mutters, "Never trust a liar, even when he's dying." Jess cradles Nikki's head, sobbing. He can barely breathe. With a weak smile, he whispers, "It's okay, it's a Toledo panic button." Jess doesn't understand. Then, a familiar voice speaks behind her. Owens, the man who just shot Nikki, is standing there with a calm expression. He removes his earpiece, sighs, and says, "He's gonna live." Jess looks up confused. Owens kneels beside Nikki, pressing a towel to the wound and draining blood from his lung. He explains that he shot him between the third and fourth rib, intentionally avoiding vital organs. And then comes the revelation. Owens looks at Jess and says, "You really don't know, do you?" Nikki groans in pain but manages to say, "Jess, he's my father." Owens carries him to his car. Jess follows, holding Nikki's hand. They drive in silence toward a hospital under the Buenos Aires skyline. Owens lectures him gently. "You lost focus, son. You let feelings get in the way. That's what gets you killed in this life." Nikki, still weak, manages to smile faintly. "Guess I'm still learning from the best." Owens chuckles softly, shaking his head. "Merry Christmas, kid," he says as he drops him off at the hospital entrance. Then he drives away into the night, leaving behind a trail of secrets and unspoken love between father and son. Nikki looks at her, then at the small watch on her wrist. Garriga's expensive watch, the one she managed to steal during their escape. He grins weakly. They both laugh softly, realizing that despite everything, the lies, the betrayal, the chaos, they're still who they are, con artists, thieves, survivors. As the camera pulls back, they share a quiet moment of relief and uncertain love. Because in their world, focus isn't just about seeing what's real. It's about controlling what others see. And as always, Nikki never loses focus.